What's going on, guys? It's Cape. Summer's in full swing. Not the best day, as you can see, but anyways, gonna be going off Cape today, and I want to talk about my experience a year later with this bike. The only thing that I really don't like about this, two things. One, the OEM cases. I really don't like those because I fiddle with the locks, I fiddle with the latches. KTM really doesn't have the best quality bags, in my opinion. So I decided to order an aftermarket set, which is going to be here soon. Actually on this coming Friday. And it's Sunday right now, so the way that they're mounted, there's only 2 points on the bike where they're mounted. They can only hold 20 pounds. I'm not really a fan of how much play that they have as opposed to the aluminum panniers, which really don't have that much play in them. And they're sturdy. I've had a case fall off on me before. I've read several reviews on Touratech, you know, the Zega Pro panniers. I've read reviews on SW Motec. I've read stuff on Brooks. And Brooks actually really surprised me. And like on the sides, they're 2mm. On the bottom, they're 3mm aluminum. And that's thicker than the BMWs, the stock BMW cases, which really surprised me. So I ordered those, and it was around $1,100 for the full set. I just want a system where I'm not going to have to worry about a case falling off, or and they have a tried and true mounting system, and it's actually a lot better because it has 2 pucks where it fits into the rack, and then it has 2 clamps. And those things are not coming off, And then on the top case, it actually slides backward, and then you spin it, and then an actual puck goes through the mounting plate. That's not going anywhere either. So I'm just tired of, worrying about if my luggage is going to fall off or not. So, but with this new set, I've read nothing but great reviews. And this guy has had his set for, he had an R1200 GS, the BMW, and he's had his set for a while, about 3 years. And he said that they're absolutely perfect. They're wonderful. Talked about the bags. Let's talk about another thing. I did not like the fuel sensor on this bike. If you guys watch Two Wheeled Rider, Mario, he's a good friend of mine. We had the same issue with our 1290s, and the fuel sensor is just right underneath this side of the bike. Just take off the fairing. Very easy to service this bike in general. So I had to take apart the fuel sensor, and the actual float kept getting stuck. So I was coming back from New Hampshire, and I was getting a false reading. I still thought that I had 3/4 of a tank, and I'm like, you know what, this is great, this is awesome. But my bike started sputtering, and I was back in Plymouth, which I was almost home, and then it started, I had to fight to keep my bike on. So I put on my hazards, I was riding down the breakdown lane, and the police were nice enough to escort me to a gas station, which was right off the exit. It was backed up. It was backed up for miles, because they were doing some sort of construction. So, but they were nice enough to escort me off the highway. EVAP system on this bike is not needed, and I'll tell you why. Because California only requires that you have the charcoal canister and all that stuff on the bike itself. So what's the point in having this? I mean, it just felt so lethargic. So Rottweiler hooked me up with an SAS delete, or an emissions delete. I did the O2 sensors, I blocked those off. Makes the bike run richer, has a nice air to fuel ratio, and increases it by a full point. which I don't understand. You know, why make a bike and then send it to, you know, just because our emission standards are stupid, especially on motorcycles. The air to fuel ratio was a lethargic 11.5, so that was easily fixed, and the bike runs so much better. I did the same thing on my Ducati when I had it. I got rid of the evap canister, and it was like I was riding a whole new bike. You know, I plugged the vacuum, I did the O2 sensors, I got rid of the charcoal canister, I ran new lines. Just makes it run lean. I've had this bike stall out on really hot days, and my Ducati did the same thing. I was down in New York, Long Island to be specific. I was riding with Defobra, clutch first. Yeah, I was riding with Defobra, clutch first, Mark, One Man's Wish, and I was at the point where I was halfway across the Throgsnet Bridge. Never gets old. So I was halfway across the bridge. The Ducati just cuts out. And I started freaking out. I pulled my clutch in. I was trying to start the bike and it was struggling to turn over. And as soon as that happened, I just immediately plugged the vacuum line. It was just, oh my God. Like when something like that can put you in danger, it's time to get rid of it. You know what? For the most part, I've been extremely happy with this bike. Very, very happy with this bike. No complaints, other than having to do, you know, the fuel gauge, you know, the actual sensor for it. But this is a rock solid bike. It is a Super Duke with an 8-gallon tank, and I've never been happier with my bike. You know, my Ducati was just an utter shit show, and just the experience with it. Like, I know it depends on the dealership you go to and all that stuff, but for fuck's sake, this is when it's gonna get bad. But yeah, this is what I deal with. This is why I never go on the Cape anymore, just because of this traffic. This traffic is absolutely horrendous. Oh man. If you're gonna come down here though, come down on a Sunday, because there's no traffic going on. And if you're gonna leave, stay till Friday, because everybody's gonna be coming down on a Friday, and you're just gonna get off the island very quick. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you're on 2, be safe. Especially right now. Oh, I hate Prius drivers so much. You got the best of me.